State Chair of the United States of America. Thank you very much. I spoke to President Obama the other day, and he said, "What advice you got for me, Terry?" I said, "You ought to make Dick Cranwell the next chair of the Democratic National Committee. That's the best thing you can do. Get this, and what you did today, you can all over the country." So we'll see if Brian listens to me or not. But I wanted to come by, first of all, and thank all of you for the work that you have done in the last election. We've all talked about the wins in the spectacular. Barack Obama winning here, which people never thought possible. If you look at the 3 congressional races, because our party was unified. So I want to thank all of you for the outstanding work that you have done. It was exciting. We won here, we won all over the country. The Democratic Party is in great shape. Now we got to deliver. And now we got to create some jobs, we got to get things going. And as most of you know, I announced during the campaign that people talked to me, "Do you want to run for governor?" I run for governor. I said, after the election, I will travel the state. And I've been doing that. We've been to almost 100 cities and counties. I want to get to all of them before we finish up. And I'll make a decision on January 7th. If I haven't seen you, I'd love to see you. Mike Henry in the back of the room. Mike, put your hand up. If you want me to come see you, talk to him. If you don't want me to come see you, talk to him too. But I plan to travel all over the state in the remaining 4 weeks. And let me just say off the top, folks, we got right now 2 great candidates running for governor. Yep. Brian Moran, Creed Dees. Give them a great round of applause. And what I've always said, and I said this when I was national chairman, it's good to have primaries. And it's good to have Democrats in talking about issues. Because that's what our party is all about. The more people in, the more good ideas that come out. We had a lot of candidates running for President of the United States of America. You know what? It was good for the Democratic Party. Most of you probably seen on television, they said, "Oh, it ought to end, it ought to shut down early." It should not have shut down early. It's up to the voters, ultimately, to make that decision. And we went all the way till June 3rd. And we competed in 50 states. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton right to the end. But you know what? That was great for the party. Because the next day, all those people turned over and started working to the general election. Our party was more unified than ever been. A lot of great ideas. And I want to be involved in this campaign if it's about big ideas. And I'll say this, if I decide to run, I will keep the rule that I've had now for 30 years in politics. I will never speak ill of another Democrat. I don't think Democrats should attack one another. If I decide to run, I'm going to save my criticism for one person. And his name is Bob McDonald. And I promise you this. He will hear from me every single day, because we are really in a difference of where we want this state to go. We had a great debate the other night, as you probably know. We were in Richmond. Actually, yesterday, if you read the Richmond Times-Dispatch, it was actually a funny article. I was attacked because they said McAuliffe had too many policy ideas, and he might come across as too boring. Now, that has never happened, folks, in my 51 years of my life, that anyone has called me boring. So I've actually framed it, sent it to my wife, 5 kids. I mean, one thing you won't use about me is that I'm boring. I'm not. But I like big ideas. And I think in this race, there might be an opportunity for someone to come in. I've been involved in business most of my life, as you know. I started my first business when I was 14, because I wanted to go to college, and my folks couldn't afford it. I started several dozen companies and got lucky. Worked hard, got lucky. At the age of 35, I stopped working for money, and I started working for the Democratic Party, and as you know, I've held every job in the Democratic Party. Some people say, "Well, what's Terry been doing?" I've been out fighting on the issues my entire life. I stood tall. I was probably the harshest critic against George Bush. But a lot of people, and his numbers were high, I never stopped fighting. I thought George Bush was wrong. He should never have been President of the United States of America. Guess what, folks? I've been proven right. Security, I had to fight against it all over the country. Can you imagine if seniors had put their money in private investment accounts where they would be today? When he tried to roll back every environmental standard, remember all that? I was the guy that led the fight. So people say, "Well, where was Terry? He won in Virginia." Well, I've lived here nearly 20 years, but I've been fighting on the issues. Not like I've been out selling pencils every day. I've been out fighting on the issues that matter to every single Virginian. Let it be quality health care. I fought hard for Hillary, because I believe Hillary. I honestly thought it was time for a woman to be President of the United States of America. My 3 young daughters, I want them to get out of bed saying, "I can do anything I want, including being President of the United States of America. But it was history this year. We were either going to have the first African-American president, the first woman president, and maybe the first woman vice president. Well, it might have been history on the other end. With Sarah Palin, I'm glad to see we've actually won the United States Senate seat up in Alaska. And I should say, I just heard, so she didn't have too many coattails, but I just did hear that Al Franken has now moved up by, he's up 3 votes right now. That would be exciting. I say we've been blessed here in Virginia. We have many great governors, many great Democratic governors. Chuck Robb, Lyles. But in the last 7 years, Mark Warner, as you know, came out of the business community, did a magnificent job as the governor of our state. Tim Kaine, spectacular. You know what? The economy's in trouble all over the country. And I say this, thank God we have Tim Kaine right now as our governor and helping make sure that he is protecting the economy. And I felt strongly. And as you know, when I was the national chairman in 01, I gave the largest gift in the history of the Democratic Party, $1.5 million to Mark Warner. It was a tough time. September 11th it hurt. I took over a party that was $20 million in debt, about ready to tip over. I honored that commitment because you know what? I saw in Mark Warner a candidate who can help the Democratic Party send a message all over the country, and it worked. When Tim Kaine, I know Charlie is here somewhere, when Tim Kaine was running, the last act I did as the National Party Chair is to give the biggest gift in the history of the Democratic Party. I gave him $5 million because you know what? It was important after 04 that the Democrats stand up and fight and show that we can win in southern states, and that the Democratic Party is strong. And I will tell you this day, it was the smartest investment I ever made helping Tim Kaine, because he has been an absolutely magnificent governor. As you know, I spent my time, I built the nation's first voter file for the Democratic Party. The list that got used by Barack Obama in 50 states, it got used here in Virginia, is the list that I helped build at the Democratic National Committee. And when I did it, the National Voter Party, I took a lot of criticism. Said, oh, we shouldn't do that. I said, no, we got to do it for the future of our party, so that the grassroots could have a say in our party. When I left, it was 178 million names strong. When I started, it was 0. Financially, that $20 million investment brought in $535 million, so it was a good investment. So it's a lot of these ideas that I want to talk about, and I'll make my decision on January 7th, but I have some big ideas what I'd like to do if I ran for governor.